Aloha and welcome back to the Kupuna Connections television program. I'm Cullen Hayashida, the moderator and the host for this particular program, which is discussed and aired weekly here on Olelo. Today we are talking about active aging, and we have a special guest with us, Marcia Joyner, who the title of our show, title of our program is Navigating the Active Aging Journey. So welcome, Marcia.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure.
Marcia, perhaps we can start off with you telling just a little bit about who you are.
How can you tell a little bit of 79 years?
I realize that. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, there's no, okay.
Yeah.
I am, as you may know, a political junkie, and I wear the title proudly.
Okay.
I haven't missed an election since 1958, and I feel a total responsibility for my country.
Yes. Yes.
And so if I want it to work, I have to put in the energy. And being a part of the Democratic Party means that you can put your foot in their butt. You can call them when you're wrong.
Right,
You're
right,
wrong.
right.
And if you don't do it, I'll vote against you.
Yes, yes, yes,
You know?
yes.
So that has been most of my
Your-
adult life has been some sort of political activism.
That's what has sort of shaped your passion, basically. Okay, and that's how I kind of remember you in many respects.
Yes.
Marcia, maybe we can start off initially. Of course, we want to talk about active aging, but
That is a full-time, takes your energy. I think I wrote you and told you that I see me as a grain of sand.
Mhm.
And you say a grain of sand. I can see it in your face. A grain of sand. What is a grain of sand? Well, you know, with an oyster, there is the sand that gets in the shell, and the oyster tries to get rid of it. And in trying to get rid of it, it puts this film around that little grain of sand. And the more the sand irritates the oyster, the bigger the pearl gets, the more the oyster. So it takes people like me to be the irritant, to get in the way, to call them on their stuff, to make a truly beautiful pearl.
Right, right.
So they have to get rid of the irritant, me. So that is what to make a truly wonderful democracy, we have to have people that get in the way.
Right, and then to be able to speak out. Right. So let's go back in time a bit in terms of your early years. Tell us a little bit about what sorts of things you were doing then, besides your political junkie life.
How far back?
Well, as far back as you want.
Well, my father was in the Army,
Uh-huh.
so we came to Hawaii in October 1946 with Uncle Sam. And then we moved from Hawaii to Guam and then to Saipan. And I loved Saipan. And as luck would have it, our own Senator Akaka was a young boy at the time, but he was also stationed in Saipan at that time. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Of course, we didn't know each other
Yes.
because I was a very little girl.
And then you came back to Hawaii.
And well, yes, and then I went to boarding school. The nuns. of course.
Here in Hawaii?
No,
In Saipan?
in Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania?
Oh, the cold weather.
Yes.
But it was wonderful. I, as Catholic in the convent at, I am drawing a blank, at Holy Providence in
Okay.
Cornwall Heights, Pennsylvania. Beautiful, beautiful place. And it was absolutely wonderful to have that kind of an education. I don't have any siblings, so being in the convent with all of these other girls, that was just wonderful. And the Mother Superior is now made a saint. And that was because she was in the 1800s, right after the Civil War. She said that she had lots and lots of money. She belonged to the same family that Jackie Kennedy did, the Auchincloss. They had all this money. And she said that it was criminal what they had done to the slaves, in that they just turned them out. It's over. No education, no nothing. So she went across the country creating schools and or convents. Well, first it was a boarding school, as well as the slaves and the Indians. She created Xavier University, for instance, and all across the country with what in today's money would be billions of dollars. So that education was absolutely
So that's
wonderful.
what you got through high school?
Yeah.
And then you came, when did you come back to Hawaii?
I 60 something or other.
60-something.
Yeah,
I
during
see.
Vietnam.
I see, I see.
And so I went to work with Frank Fosse in 1973, I guess it was. I was on the original staff of the Satellite City Hall
Yeah, okay, wow.
in Wahiawa. And you remember Frenchie DeSoto
Yes,
was
of
in
course.
Y&I.
Uh-huh,
Gail Prigine was in Kaneohe.
okay.
And even John Wahe'e was in Model Cities.
I remember
You remember.
I was involved with that as
Yeah.
well, yes.
Mhm.
Oh, okay,
So
that was the beginnings in terms of your work life,
yeah, and being a part of the civil rights movement.
okay, okay.
And that energy, which in retrospect, it's all the same.
Uh-huh.
The civil rights movement, the Democratic Party,
Right, right.
it's all
It's all kind
all
of
the same.
related, yeah,
Yes.
yes, yes.
And
Okay,
so-
so much of it, I mean, of course, you worked with the city administration under Mayor Fosse, but you were also working in a beauty shop as well?
Well, when I married this husband,
Uh-huh,
we had we had two beauty salons in Waikiki.
uh-huh,
And in those days, people came to Hawaii for the season, not like this weekend. People are coming, just a few days. People came for the season. And we were in the Reef Tower Hotel and the Edgewater, and they had suites, or where they had kitchens and
right.
sitting rooms and bedroom. So we had the same customers for years. We'd see the same people winter and summer. The people from Canada came at one time, and Australia, New Zealand, same people. And we got to watch them, because this was 27 years, watch them grow and leave us and
Right.
whatnot. You see, so-and-so didn't come back this year, or you know what happened.
Yeah.
So that, again, watching Waikiki, watching Hawaii grow
Mhm.
and change.
Yeah, wow,
And
amazing.
It is amazing.
Wow.
And we often say, thank you that we had those years in Waikiki, that we
Yes.
had that time when Waikiki really was magic,
Right.
when it was just absolutely wonderful to be there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And there were lots of local, there was the lei stand and the
Yes,
fruit stand
yes,
and
yes.
all of the
Yes,
little
yes,
things that
yes,
are
yes.
Hawaii
Yeah.
that don't exist anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can hardly get to the lace stand over at the airport right
Yeah.
now, right? Yeah. Okay. So you brought some pictures along, with you, and I thought maybe what we could do is share some of those photos and tell us a little bit, because basically it all ties in with your life, and in terms of some of your passions and that sort of thing. So let's see some
Let's
of
see
these
what we've
photos, and
got.
you can tell us what we're looking at. Tell
Oh,
us
yeah.
what is this?
That's the Martin Luther King holiday. And
Okay.
every year for the last 28 years, I can't believe we've done this.
Wow.
Every year we have a parade and a unity rally at the park,
Uh-huh.
at the
Right.
parade and the
That's right.
park. Now, if you take a look at Martin Luther King there, I'm very proud of that. The family says that you can't use his image. Okay. So what I had to do was to take an image of him and change it. So I had to do this watercolor and change it. And then another friend working, part of the committee, he's a real genius at this. So we had to find pictures of people, graduating pictures. And you know how in Hawaii they
All the
stack the
lace.
lei. So we had to find somebody looking at exactly the same angle to take the lei off of them and put on him.
Oh,
So
really?
this has become our very own, and the family can't complain about it.
So you've
So
been involved with this now?
since the beginning,
Yes, yes.
since we decided to have a Martin Luther King holiday.
Yes.
And what we had to do was to keep it from being a black holiday.
Right.
A friend of mine said we got a petition to collect names from every ethnic group we could find to make sure that this was a collective thing.
Event, yeah.
It wasn't just.
Yes.
So it took us 2 years
Wow.
to make it happen,
Yes, yes.
and of course everybody's got a Maisie story. So we're at Maisie Hirono.
Right.
She was in the House of Representatives then, and we're at conference. So everybody has agreed. The unions agreed. Everybody agreed. The union said, "Well, we'll go along with this as long as you have." We can't have another holiday. Our contracts say we can only have so many holidays.
Yes.
So if we're going to have this, we have to let go of another one, or we have to open all the contracts. Nobody wanted to do that. So I suggested, fine, let's get rid of Good Friday. I barely came away with my head. Everybody wanted to keep Good Friday. Anyway, so we went through all the holidays, and as luck would have it, nobody was there to campaign for Columbus. So poor Columbus,
Got
we
nothing.
lost Columbus.
Okay.
But then when we came down to the end, now what are we calling this holiday? We've agreed we've got a holiday. We've agreed on everything. And in this little voice in the back of the room, you've been to conference, you know how crowded the room is. This little voice in the back said, well, why can't we call it what it is? Martin Luther King holiday. And then the room got quiet, and then, of course. And that little voice was Maisie Hirono. So she's my Maisie story.
I see. Okay. Now we've got this other picture here that you want to share a little bit.
Oh, this one.
Yes.
This is the Rosa Parks bus. This is our commemoration of Rosa Parks.
Okay. And this is also related to
This is the parade, the Martin Luther King parade.
Right.
Every year, the city and county gives us a bus, a city bus.
Okay.
In the parade, we put the sign on in commemoration of Rosa Parks.
Okay.
And the bus.
All right. Okay.
And so the city is really gracious in allowing us every year, as well as we don't have a picture of the rubbish truck,
Yeah.
but we have the rubbish truck
I
in
see.
commemoration of where Martin Luther King was killed in Memphis. So the banner says Memphis We Remember,
I see.
and the UPW. And you can't believe this is a rubbish truck. They clean, it is just gleaming. They are so proud to be in the parade.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Terrific.
It's just wonderful.
How about this next one here? Tell us a little bit about this. What are we
See-
seeing?
See how I weighed 80 pounds less. That's when I had a gallery in Chinatown, and it's Pacific Traditions.
Okay.
And it was absolutely just loved being I loved being in Chinatown.
So you
that
were-
was in '06.
The purpose of this particular museum?
That's a gallery, art gallery.
Oh, an art
Uh-huh.
gallery. Okay. Okay. And this next photo?
Let's see what this
What are
is.
we seeing?
Oh, that one is inside the gallery, and a friend had given us a original painting of Queen Liliuokalani and Dr. Martin Luther King, and so I was unpacking all of them.
I see. I see. So you're very much involved with the community in that
Yes.
respect, yeah? And how about this next photo? This is kind of a little hard to see, but
It
they've
is-
explained
that
what
is-
we're seeing.
Okay, that's the fountain where the water runs down
Okay.
like a mighty river,
Yes.
one of Martin Luther King's comments. And so my hand is in the water.
I see.
And that is at the museum, the Civil Rights Museum in Montgomery, Alabama. And my name was ensconced on
Now
the
you
wall.
got names written down there. Can you
Yes.
tell us what we're looking at?
Those are
names?
all people who had died in the civil rights movement.
Civil rights movement. Okay.
And I'm not on that. I'm on the. I guess you
Okay,
have
then
another
how
one.
about that next slide there? The next picture.
Yeah. See, my name is on the wall.
Okay. Oh.
And- yeah.
Wow. So this is
It's-
just national recognition,
Yes.
of course, of all the contributions that you've made over the years. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Terrific. So
I'm
we
coming
have a
unglued.
few more of these
Okay.
pictures that we want to
Keep
see.
going.
So perhaps we can go quickly
Oh,
here.
okay. Let's go quickly. This is at the ground zero
In.
in Nagasaki,
Japan.
August 9, 1998.
Uh-huh.
And it was so hot. And I looked around at all the Japanese men in their beautiful suits and whatnot, and I think the bomb was 7,000 degrees. How can I possibly say it's hot? You know, you just can't.
Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
so I was invited to Nagasaki
Uh-huh.
to unveil the bust of Dr. Martin Luther King, the only one in Asia. And that is because, have you seen the Nagasaki Bell at Honolulu Holly? In the back?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. So we, as the Martin Luther King Coalition, have used the bell more than anybody in the world. The Japanese gave several bells around the world. And because we had used it, and it's the only bell in the city that was given to the people in peace. All the other bells came from ships and what have you. That one was given in peace. So that's why we used it. And so I was given the Nagasaki Prize, as well as this first class, all expense paid trip
Wow.
to Nagasaki
So, okay, representing just this.
to unveil the bust of
unveil
Dr.
the-
King.
I see.
And
Wow.
they were just wonderful to us.
Wow.
And then again, 2 years ago, I was invited back
Mhm.
to Nagasaki to unveil the bust again because it had been moved to a permanent location.
Wow, wow, wow. Terrific. How about this next
see
picture
what
that
we-
we have here?
Ah,
This is
Sister Joan Chatfield.
Sister Joan Chatfield, yeah?
She is wonderful. Oh, she's such a wonderful human being.
She has also been doing a lot of things in the community as well.
Yes, I told her. See, I wanted to be a nun, but
Uh-huh.
they wouldn't let me. But this was a long time ago.
Okay.
I said, if I could have been a nun like she is, I would have done it. You know, the activism
Yes.
with which she does.
Yes.
And I'm a host of Navigating the Journey, which is on Think Tech Hawaii.
Right.
And she was our guest.
Okay.
But I just love her. She's
Yes.
just such a sweetheart.
She's also quite a contributor to
And
our
she's
community.
81, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And the next photo here, what do we see?
Ah,
Oh,
that
this
was
is,
this year in
is where-
February.
Senator, yeah.
Senator Brian Schatz.
Shots, yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that was right after the Women's March.
March, yes.
Yeah.
And then the next photo here?
Ah, that was my 70th birthday, and that's my husband.
Yes, okay. And then the final one that we have here.
Wow,
Wow.
the senator.
Well, the president, yeah.
Yeah, that's when he was still a
He's
senator.
still, well,
Yeah.
running for office
Running
and
for
coming
office,
to Hawaii.
yes. Uh-huh.
Well, so certainly have had a lot of, you know, contact and, you know, exposure to a lot of people that have had, you know, tremendous contributions in our community and to the society as well as to the world, yeah? So thank you for all that you've done, and, you know, it sort of just amazes me that you still have this passion and all of this energy to keep contributing back to the community. Tell me something about this, and what is it that drives you? What is your passion?
Don't know.
You don't know?
I love getting up every morning,
Yes.
and the birds wake you up. You know, they start chirping at a certain time when the first light of dawn.
Right.
The birds start chirping, and then the sun comes over Cocoa Head, and it just brightens up everything. So why not, right?
Yeah.
Get up and just be part of it,
That's right.
and feed the fish and water the plants, and
Yes, yes.
and I take pictures of all the flowers, and I have lots of children
Mm-hmm.
and grandchildren,
Mm-hmm.
and now a great grand.
Mm-hmm.
And so I send each one every morning. I text them a flower every morning,
Wow.
all over the world, wherever
Yes,
they are.
wherever
Yeah.
they are. Wow.
Hmm.
No, I've had friends who have told me, they've said, Cullen, I'm 62. I'm going to get started with my Social Security. I probably have another 20 to 30 years to live, but, Colin, I don't know what to do with my life. And, I worry about people like that because it seems as though they have no purpose, and that it's like riding a boat without a rudder. And I think probably will crash into the reef or whatever, right? And so, what is it that, what's your purpose, what's your life purpose?
To be of
Because
service,
be of service.
to right or wrong.
Yeah, to right or wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And regardless of what that might be.
Regardless,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes.
And my husband said, if I put as much energy into a paying job as I do for all these causes, we'd be millionaires. So,
Maybe billionaires.
yeah, I never saw a cause I didn't like. But having a cause, whatever it
Mhm.
is that's where the energy is of being able to give
Mhm.
to um, no matter how small or how large,
Mhm.
to be able to say that I can give something.
Mhm.
I can give my time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can give my energy to
Mhm.
whatever it is, no matter how big, how small. And that's what keeps me going. That's what I just beam about.
Do you think that passion or that sense of life purpose, being of service to other people, has made a difference in terms of how much attention you pay in terms of keeping yourself healthy? Do you think it has any bearing
I'm sure
whatsoever?
it does because I don't think of keeping me healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a cancer survivor,
Uh-huh.
lots of cancers. Um, I don't have time for cancer,
Right.
so we
Right.
just deal with it and
Just move
move
on.
on.
Yeah.
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 Um, I'll have to tell you my story about, if we have time, about being a raccoon.
Uh-huh.
Now, of course, you're a man, so you won't understand this, but stay with me.
Okay.
We had a beauty salon at the time in Waikiki, and I had on all the makeup and the mascara, the whole thing, because in a beauty salon, you got to look good. And whatever you sell, sell, sell. If you don't look good, they don't buy.
That's true.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'm all made up, and I was at Kaiser. That's when Kaiser was in Waikiki
In
on the water.
Waikiki, right.
Okay. And the doctor says to me, because they had done the test, and he came back, he said, it's the big C. And let me go get my appointment book. We'll make an appointment for the surgery. And he walks out. And I said, the big C. And I look out the window, and I thought, oh dear. So I had started to cry, and then I said, no, 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 no. I can't cry. I can't go to work looking like a raccoon. The mascara will run down my face, and the eyelashes will be crooked. And I can't. I just can't go to work looking like this. So I sucked it up, and I didn't cry. And we went through years of surgeries and years of cancers and reoccurring cancers until one day I had the surgery, and these artificial things, oh, those rocks, oh, they're horrible. Anyway, they're artificial that they put in the breast.
Okay.
So I'm up campaigning, of course,
Okay.
at dawn, right? And you get ready to.
Right.
So I'm in the shower, and I feel this funny thing. I said, what is this? And I went in the room, and I asked my husband, can you see what is this under? And it was that pushing out the the implant, pushing its way out. My body was rejecting. And of course, he turned right gray. It was like, oh God, this was more than he could handle.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a holiday weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and we're off to every hospital, and of course the doctor's off on vacation, and there's nobody. And finally at Tripler, and we saw a medic who had been through everything. He said, oh, I know what to do with this. So he wrapped me up as a mummy, with ace bandage, pushed it back in place and wrapped it up until the doctor could come, which was Tuesday. And so everybody else is in the beach, in the water, because it's a holiday, and except me and this mummy.
Okay.
Well, so they did the surgery, took out all these things, and I'm in recovery, and I said, "Can I see my husband?" And then the nurse says, "No." And I looked over in the bed, and there's, what is it? Elvis. I thought, "Oh my God, I've died and gone to Graceland." But anyway, I finally, that was the day I cried. After all of those years of not looking like a raccoon.
Wow, 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 strong woman, yeah.
No, you just don't want to look like a raccoon.
Yeah. Wow, what a story. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, so you've gone through a lot, and a lot of surgeries, like you said, but you don't let that necessarily bother you. You've got you start
Something else to do.
focusing. Yeah, something
Something
else
else
to
to
do.
do. I
Yeah,
don't have time for
something else.
this.
Yeah. So we don't have much time left, but perhaps we've covered a lot of things. We've certainly seen a lot about your life through those photos. But if you had one thing that you could leave with our viewers out there, one message, with regards to active aging, what would that be?
Stay busy.
Stay busy. Okay.
Just stay busy. Um, I just, like I was telling you, in the morning, just going out into the garden, into the yard, and watching Mother Nature, watching the plants grow and change. And one plant, little fella moved into a pot with another one. I said, "Oh, well, that's interesting." That they reach out to each other, and so it's just watching Mother Nature and being in it. And we are so fortunate to live in Hawaii,
Yeah.
where we can every day of the year you can be with Mother Nature, and
That's
it's
right.
just wonderful. So if
Stay.
there's is that just stay alive, be alive. Thank you, God, for every day of
That
being
you have.
alive.
Yeah. Well, that's a wonderful message. So thank you so much, Marcia. I really appreciate that.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you.
So that's the program that we have today with Marcia Joyner, navigating the active aging journey. Thank you very much for being with us today, and see you again next week. Aloha.